Alrighty. All right. It looks like we are live. We're playing with Gauntlet Con, and the game we're playing here is Dungeon World Rogues of Ravnica. So, what are those things? Well, the Gauntlet is an online role playing game community. Check it out at gauntlet-rpg.com. And this weekend, it's throwing Gauntlet Con, an exciting, entirely online role playing game convention. The game we're playing tonight, we're playing Dungeon World, a game put out by Sage Cobbled Productions. It's a game of treasure hunting, monster slaying, fantasy world goodness, and it's using the Powered by the Apocalypse system. And the module we have here is a module written by yours truly called Rogues of Ravnica that takes the mechanics of Dungeon World and adds in a little bit of custom stuff so that we can play on Ravnica, the city-wide plane setting from the lore of Magic the Gathering. All right, so who do we have? Who's going to be playing with us here? Let's introduce ourselves. I'll start us off. My name's Alexi, he, him, and you can follow my gaming endeavors online at Cloven Pine Games. So check out my Twitter at Cloven Pine Games, or on Itch.io, Cloven Pine Games, where I have a sale going on right now for Halloween of a couple of my short games that you can buy. Folks, we'll go through character keeper order again. Tell us who you are. Mention, if you wish, your pronouns and or online handle, and then just mention the capsule summary of your character. We'll get more into it later, but just tell us your guild and your class, so we start building a picture of our party. Josh, kick us off.
All right, I'm Josh, he, him. I am playing Carissa. She, her. She's part of the Demir Guild, which is all about stealing secrets and assassinations and things of that nature. Playing the Thief class, and she is a vampire. I guess her base race before becoming a vampire is elf.
Fascinating. An elf turned vampire, Demir Thief. Excellent. Only on Ravnica, folks. All right, Tyler, you're up next.
Hi there, I'm Tyler. He, him pronouns. I'm a longtime member of Gauntlet and part of the Gauntlet community care team, trying to make Gauntlet a better place for us all. And I am playing Delic Moreau, who is a, let's see, make sure I have all of my little words right here. A Rakdos wizard. The Rakdos are a demonic cult, kind of the jesters of the world, but we have a very different outlook on what's funny. Funny is often painful because, every good joke deserves to have a strong point to it. And we are out there trying to skewer those in power and make sure that those who are underneath are ready to rise up. And, of course, get a big guffawing laugh out of it as we do it.
Yeah, the problem with the Rakdos is that screams count as applause in their philosophy. So this will be fun. This will be exciting, and no, terrible things will happen to the city from bringing all these characters together, I'm sure. David, over to you.
Yeah, I'm playing Osric Karlov, another vampire, formerly human, who is from the Orzhov Syndicate, I believe, which are kind of a cross between a church and the mob and just religious libertarians, I like to think of them. This is a paladin on a quest to, I'm sure, get some kind of terrible blood money from somebody. We'll find that out soon.
Nice. Yeah, classic vampire paladin. Another fairly unique to Ravnica setup when we've got the Orzhov with their black and white mix of profit and prestige and religious obligation. Blake, last but not least, tell us about yourself and your character.
Yep. I'm Blake, him. I'm playing Orlik Nodorf. He's a cleric of the Rat King. Likes to find things. And he's a member of the Golgari Guild.
Yeah,
We're
the guild that go by they're the swarm, right? They're the Golgari swarm in the Undercity.
Yeah, we are everywhere.
Precisely. All right, let's learn a little more about these characters then. Carissa, you're a Dimir thief. You're a vampire, but before you were turned, you were an elf. I wondered, were you a member of a different guild before your turning? Were you connected to the nature loving Selesnya or to the elves who manipulate genetics as scientists in the Simic, or any of these interesting to you as a little backstory hook?
I could see that perhaps she was with the Simic before, and maybe they were testing something with vampirism, and the corruption just it kind of changed my whole demeanor, I guess.
Do you have a like a cover identity, or are most people who are in the know associate you with the Dimir, even though they are a secretive organization, but there are some people who are known to be Dimir in the streets of the city?
I think maybe people still associate me with Simic, but Dimir kind of used my new nature to, I guess, convince me to kind of come to their side and spy on Simic for them.
Nice. There we go. So a cover in one guild, a true loyalty to another. I like how this is shaping up. Yeah. So I think that the Dimir, think of you as a valuable asset, but not a totally reliable one, at least not yet, right? Because you kind of need to prove you've truly turned and aren't playing them for something, right? The Dimir are a suspicious lot. That's why you start out with 1 guild esteem. So that's one of the little custom bits of this module. You accrue guild esteem by leaning into the identity of your guild, especially if it causes problems for other people in the party. So if someone's being too Dimir or too Rakdos and it's causing a problem, call it out and they'll be rewarded with a guild token. Isn't that great? You need 2 guild tokens to unlock that special guild move that's also available there, and you should see it in the character keeper. What poison have you prepared as the thief?
I have prepared Golden Root, which is the one that the target treats me or treats the next creature they see as a trusted ally until proven otherwise.
Very nice. And you've got several uses of that available. Awesome. And just to flag, the applied tag on Golden Root means it does need to be kind of carefully applied to the target, to something they eat, or somehow they ingest or inhale it, right? Such that it takes a little stealth to pass it off. But I'm sure as a Dimir thief, you'll be up to that task. Anything else we should definitely know about Carissa?
No, not necessarily.
Great. Then Tyler, let's learn a little more about Delic Moreau, Rakdos Wizard. I'm curious, what's your act, right? In the 3-ring circus that is the Rakdos. What sort of role does a wizard play?
I work in illusions as my probably performance bit. I like to strip away the illusions of people and project the truth in the illusions I create. And I generally do this as kind of a, you may find yourself being powerful, or you think you're this, but no, the truth is you are tiny and small, and we all burn with desires that we hate for others to know, sort of thing.
Oh man, some edgy performance art here. Here's my question: what does your spell book look like?
As in physically, what does it look like?
Yes. What if we saw Delic, opening up his spell book? What would we see?
It is bound in leather, but it is knitted together different types of leather, and it is from various species of things that have made it, often because along with their illusions, I have stripped other things as well.
Got it. So there's like some loxodon hide in there. There's like some like delicate leather that looks like it could have come off of an elf. Absolutely. And yeah, do tell me what spells do you have? Remembering that you also get the custom Rakdos spell for free.
I do indeed. I have Light and Unseen Servant and Prestidigitation as my cantrips, of course. And I have Invisibility, Magic Missile, and Charm Person as my spells. And then the Rakdos guild spell, Macabre Mockery, which is a dead creature you can see jerks to life as if yanked by puppet strings. It lasts long enough to execute a shambling parody of its signature actions in life, perhaps one attack, then collapses once more.
Nice. I've gone ahead and checked those in the spells tab. You can use the notes as I see you're doing, but I'm definitely gonna be also using the spells tab as a reference here, kind of.
Alrighty.
Yeah. Excellent. Anything else you definitely want to highlight about Delic?
Delic probably comes across a trifle mad. He has the problem of laughing at inadvertent or peculiar moments at things that he finds amusing, others might not. And one can kind of imagine that he's not pleasant company for people at long stretches of time.
Well, this is great. What a great party we're pulling together here. It's so exciting. David, let's learn a touch more about Ozrock. So I see your Ozrock Karlov. Are you related to the Karlovs, the biggest, fattest pontiffs of the Orzhov Syndicate?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a distant relation, and he was. I'm thinking he was kind of because of that, just kind of born into the Orzhov, but maybe wasn't kind of living up to his family name, and that's where this vampirism came in.
Was it a punishment, or was it like an encouragement to be better?
I think it was maybe pitched as a kind of like an extra special gift, but then later he got the bill for it. The bill was a few decades of extra service.
Yeah, that's how they get you. So what do you miss most from before you got turned?
Yeah, I think. Oh, maybe he was kind of trying to get out of the life. Like this is a real Godfather situation, where he was maybe he had like a love interest and everything, and then maybe they got whiff of this, that's when the gift came and kind of bring him away from these mortals.
What?
Now he's kind of,
yeah. What guild was that love interest connected to, or was this person an ungilded?
Oh, interesting. Oh yeah, it's got to be a different guild. Maybe an Azorius, the lawmakers.
Absolutely, that works. Yeah.
And I think I gave him charisma as the highest thing, and I think in reality he's very uncharismatic, but it's really just this mystical vampire thing. Like
yeah. Kind of your classic Dracula glamour thing. Yeah,
exactly. And these kind of paladin moves, the like command minions and stuff, are just the vampire gaze kind of thing.
All right. Go ahead and check. The quest box should be editable now. I should have. It should now be able to be something where you can choose the quest you've received, the boons you've gotten, and then I'll tell you what vow you've had to make.
Oh, cool.
But maybe if you want to take a minute looking at that, maybe we'll loop back after we. Oh, did David just disappear? Okay. Let's hope he's able to rejoin in a moment. But let's check in. Blake, tell us a little more about Orlick. You're a cleric of the Golgari and a devotee of the Rat King.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
I think he's a kid that grew up on the streets, and all he's known has been the cult of the Rat King, and he's stealing and scavenging is just what he's always done. He's been doing it for decades now.
Does he have followers? Like, are there other people who like look to you as a spiritual leader?
I think maybe I'm second in charge of the cult sort of thing.
Oh wow, okay. Who's the high priest of the Rat King then? If you can mull that, but we can also give you an NPC there, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna say Physic. Never seen in daylight.
Absolutely. Maybe there's even a rumor that Physic might not be a human or an elf at all, but just a pile of rats in a cloak that speak for the Rat King.
Yeah, and I think the guy I replaced, I think I found his bones, but I'm not 100% sure, and I kind of don't want to know.
Yeah, I hear you. Cool. And then just I'm guessing the Rat King's domain is either the downtrodden and forgotten or what lies beneath.
Yeah, what lies beneath, I was thinking.
What lies beneath. Great. Just
because I'm going to guess there's a fairly extensive sort of sewer system or caverns or both beneath the city.
Yes. The thing about Ravnica is built on older versions of Ravnica, so you can just keep on going down and keep finding old buildings that have become part of the Undercity, right? More or less reclaimed by nature or turned into hideouts for any of the guilds that like to go underground. The Golgari most notably, but Rakdos will have special venues underground. And
can I just clarify? You do mean like older civilizations and people's migration stuff? You're not talking about alternate versions of Ravnica being buried under the dominant one or anything?
No, yeah, it's an archaeological thing, right? Where
cool.
The city has lasted long enough that you dig under a bank and it's like, oh, this is a temple to a god everyone's forgotten about, and underneath there's a bloody gladiatorial arena from a civilization that we've all lost the memory of. And what's the precept of this cult of the Rat King?
What did I say? Prove yourself and gain power.
Prove yourself, gain power. Interesting. So, should I say that your religion believes in trial by combat? Add petition personal victory.
Yes.
From those options. Well, that's exciting.
We're not just living amongst the city. We're mastering it. We've forged ourselves into being the best because we're the ones really in control.
Otherwise,
we're not. But
but people are just gonna like stamp down on you if you don't remind them that you're holding this whole city up. That's great. Just to flag the cleric move there, you have the petition personal victory, and that is something that you can use as a way to petition your deity and be granted useful knowledge or a boon. So that's nice. And finally, which cleric spells do you have in the mix here?
Cure light wounds and speak with dead.
Seems legit. Very good. David, did you have a chance to look at that quest?
Yeah, I did.
Any ideas what Osric's quest might be?
So, yeah, I was doing my my research for on Ravnica. There's some Orzhov folks that are kind of in charge of hunting down people that, you know, their dues need to be collected, and sometimes that includes their life. So I'm thinking, the slay the specific person is a great light on this land because they're not paying their debts.
Oh man, who's so foolhardy that they think that they can get away with shorting the Orzhov?
Yeah, I was gonna ask everybody if anyone had an idea, or just like, should it be a random person, or
I think we could make it a worthy foe, right, by having it be a kind of bigger creature, right? Because there are plenty of people who are part of Ravnican society that are much larger than human scale, right? You've got you've got sphinxes, you've got dragons, you've got angels and demons, you've got giants and and trolls and ogres. Anything jump out there?
I mean, all of those sound awesome. Oh, how about since we're all the black mana friends, what if it's like an angel? We all have reason to hate them.
Yeah. Oh man. So you're
Which makes sense. I think.
Yeah, you're
like they gave him this quest to kind of shit on him, so it makes sense.
This is amazing. Yeah, your quest is to slay an angel that has failed to pay her debts to the Orzhov.
I mean, I'm not super familiar with the setting, but could it be a Dimir angel? Like the angels lost it, and they're actually a member of the Dimir guild?
Could be. I mean, the angels are most often associated with the Boros, who are the kind of red, white, fiery cops. But some angels are associated with other guilds. We've seen Orzhov angels. We could be a strange Dimir angel hoarding secrets and holding out on the Orzhov here. I'm excited about that bit of fiction. If other folks are.
Yeah.
Josh, you're playing a Dimir character. You think is that cool if another PC has a strong rivalry with someone else in your guild?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
All right.
Cool. Then the boons I took then is a sense of direction to that particular person. I'll come up with an angel name, and then senses that pierce lies.
Senses that pierce lies. That's exciting. Yeah, and I need to give you something that's required to maintain those boons, right? I think.
Although, hold on, maybe now I'm thinking about it. Maybe I might switch the lies for maybe invulnerability to like fire, holy stuff if they're sending him against an angel. At least that. I'll let you know if I change that. I'll leave it for now.
Okay. We'll give you one or the other, whichever one you want to include there. I'm going to give you. Yeah, no. Here we go. I'm going to give you a vow of temperance, where you have to avoid gluttony in food, drink, and pleasures of the flesh. And I think for a vampire, that includes indulging in feeding off of people's blood.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Excellent. Well, let's get a sense of how these characters relate to each other by doing bonds. Then, Carissa, what thief bonds do you have, and who do you want to point them to?
So the bonds. Should we start with our guild bond or how?
Yeah, so you've got a couple options. You've got any of the bonds on the thief sheet, and I can pull that up for you if you.
I've got it here in front of me.
And then the bond on the guild sheet is designed for this setting, so definitely one to also pull up. But you can start with whichever one you want.
Okay. Man, I haven't used bonds in so long. I always use flags. So I'm thinking for my guild bond, I've been instructed to extract a secret from. I'm thinking Orzik, or sorry, I don't know if that's how you say your name.
Osric?
Does that work for you, David?
What sort of secret do the Dimir want out of Osric Karlov? Is it related to his angel quest, or is it something else he knows about the internal workings of the Orzhov that the Dimir would like to know as well?
I think it's more about the internal workings of the Orzhov, and this is kind of a good excuse to get me close to him. It's like, yeah, we agree that this angel has to be put down because it could go spouting our secrets or mess up secrets that we've taken from other people. So this kind of gives me a double-bladed of, okay, we put her down, but I also put the angel down, plus I also have this opening.
I see. Any other bonds you want to point at fellow PCs that here?
Are we just doing 3 or what are we doing?
Three's probably good. Yeah, if you've got more that are like burning to be used, we can use them. But it's also okay for there to be a mix where you don't have a bond with every single.
Yeah. I think, let's see, which one? I think I stole something from Orlick. I don't know. What would be of value to you that I stole?
Maybe like a bone from a wizard or a priest or something. I was going to do some prayer type necromancy to get information from it, and you took it before I could do that.
Okay.
Maybe the person wasn't human. Maybe they were Sphinx. Yeah, we'll go Sphinx bone. Bone of a dead Sphinx.
Ooh, bone of a dead Sphinx. Yeah, lots of potential power there, and got yoinked by your Dimir buddy. Wow. And was that something that you had been also instructed to bring back by your Dimir higher ups, or was that just something that you were curious about yourself and wanted to have for your own study?
Probably something that I was told to get.
Fair. All right. Where do your orders come from the Dimir? The Dimir are really weird, right? Like, do you get your orders from a contact whose appearance always changes and just something about their voice tells you it's your handler, or is it that like only in dreams are you approached by your Dimir higher ups and that's where they give you your assignments?
I think it's usually in dreams.
Yeah, some of that mind bending stuff. Any other bonds we want to throw out there?
Yeah, I think a Delic. I'll say me and Delic have a con running together.
Oh, who are you conning?
I don't know.
Are we going for money, or are we looking for information or something more esoteric?
I mean, I think my character is all about just information and whatnot.
All right. How about it's someone that has desires that if people knew about it, they would be in horrible straits. So we are looking for the blackmail angle, but what's the information you think they hold?
What if that's kind of tying it back into? What if that's kind of the information that I'm trying to get from Orzek, because he knows somebody in his organization that, you know.
So you think that you might be running a con on someone higher up in the Orzhov?
Yeah, and so
Could it be like a dragon? It's been doing like a long play to get rid of the angels and demons and have a big power shift in the city, and you just need proof, sort of thing.
yeah.
That seems cool. Yeah, you like that?
Yeah,
You're working a con on a dragon?
that's it. Yeah, I think that's a cool idea.
Nice. All right. That is an interesting thing to know. Okay. Delic, what bonds do you want to put out there? And note you've got the special is it bond as well.
Yeah, I think I'm going to start or the Rakdos.
Yes, Rakdos. Excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah, I think I'm going to start with it, which is that Osric needs to lighten up and smile for once in their life.
Yeah, you think he's too serious about this whole vampire paladin thing?
Mm-hmm. Always business. There's far too many humorous things out there.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's great. Any other bonds to put out there?
Yeah, I have one more, which is Carissa. Yes. Carissa is woefully misinformed about the world. I will teach them all that I can.
Why do you think Carissa's so misinformed?
I think that she's caught up in all of the illusions of power and the conspiracies that are all part of her guild. And when you strip it all down, it's just what we want and what we're willing to do to get it. Bigger things are just a tool.
All right. Anything else? Should we move on, or do you have another bond to?
I think that's my good ones.
Great. All right. Osric Karlov, your bonds, including for the Paladin and for the Orzhov.
Yeah. All right. I've got some pitches.
All right.
So I think the tragic comedy of since Carissa's trying to get a secret out of me, Carissa has stood by me in battle and can be trusted completely. Seems like a good one to me.
When was the time you guys teamed up? I mean, I assume on another mission or something, but were you like, battling a Gruul troll, or had to deal with a swarm of goblins that were attacking you? Like, when did Carissa have your back?
Yeah. I mean, goblin sounds great. I think
goblins are a classic, and there's kind of organized crime goblins on Ravnica in addition to more just uncivilized bands of goblins. So you've got a couple options there.
What let's see. What if Chris or Josh, did you say you kind of infiltrate or kind of masquerade as other guilds from time to time, or?
Yeah, I think like most people think I'm Simic, and so that's my main thing that I masquerade as, but I can probably slip into other guilds too, though not quite as easily.
And do you think we know that you're a true guild,
Um,
or at least Osric?
I think I probably keep that in the dark even from y'all. I think y'all think I'm Simic.
Do you think
Okay.
I know that since we're running the con? Do I think you're just kind of a more nefarious version of that guild?
I think you might know or at least have a notion of it.
Cool.
Okay, so maybe it's maybe not even, is it goblins, but like horrifying, like hybrid Simic goblins that Osric had to fight for some reason.
Totally.
I'm thinking maybe Carissa, while Osric was kind of fighting them, kind of switched sides, because you're not actually part of the guild, and you're like, oh, this person could actually be more beneficial to me in the long run.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Excellent. Any other bonds?
Yeah, I was thinking, it makes the most sense that I respect the beliefs of Orlick, especially maybe the rat god. Oh, they like getting things, right? Is the thing we know about them so far. Likes to find things. It's like, oh, I can see why the rat god would make some sense. It's not, if I stick with them, it's not too hard for me to actually make them join the true way. So if you're okay with that.
Are you? It sounds like you're interested in maybe like pitching Orlick a little on your on more of the Orzhov approach, kind of draw him from the from the rat god to the worship of the higher powers of Orzhov.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess the full text is I respect the beliefs of them, but hope they will someday see the true way.
Nice.
This is kind of a long game.
Well, that makes a lot of sense between the paladin and the cleric, and I like the connection you drew there between the precepts of these different paths. All right. Any other bonds to include, or shall we move on to Orlick's bonds?
I was thinking, less leaving Delic out. I was going to thinking about the Orzhov specific one.
Okay.
On I owe him a debt that I'm anxious to pay off.
Oh yeah. How did
you have any ideas on
that? What do you think I did something for you, or do you think that there's something I provide you?
Oh, yeah, maybe for a bit. I mean, especially as leading up to this quest, maybe before we actually ventured off, maybe that's how I was getting this this blood. Maybe I'm sure you have easy access to a lot of blood.
That sounds marvelous. I like that. Do you have a particular fondness for any type of blood? Is it or have I been giving you samples of various types to see what tempts you most?
Oh, I feel to make this even like worse, like twist it. Maybe it's like, oh, if you have any Azorius, like people from Azorius guild blood, that's my favorite.
Because your love interest was Azorius, you still have that fondness, but now it's been warped by your vampirism.
Oh, I love it. Oh, bravo. Yeah. Thank you.
Cool.
Wow. All right. Well, that's exciting. What a bunch of crazy people. All right, Orlick, tell us about your bonds.
Let's have a look. I've got such and such as a good and faithful person, and I trust him implicitly. Might go with the paladin for that. maybe I was scrounging around for stuff and I woke up a troll, and maybe whether Osric just wanted to help out or saw it as like a publicity thing. You know, a bunch of people were watching and they'd like, I'm going to show them how good I am and save this guy and talk about my guild sort of thing. Or
Sure, yeah, that worked for you, Osric, too. Any other bonds for Orlek, including the Golgari guild bond, if that appeals to you?
I guess that would have to be Delic, because I can't really teach two vampires about the cycle of life and death.
Possibly not.
I like that. That sounds pretty cool.
Rakdos. So what's the deal with Rakdos?
Tyler, you wanna remind us what the deal with Rakdos is?
Well, we're a demonic cult, but we believe in kind of poking the powerful, uplifting the weak to do. I won't say like make them better people so much as be angry that there are people above them treating them poorly. We are jesters. We're satirists. We are also
Okay, so
yeah.
So maybe I think because of the cycle of life or death, there's actually patterns in things, and I'm trying to show you the patterns, whereas you're like, no, it's all random.
It's completely random.
Okay. All right, so I can do those too. Okay.
Cool.
This bonds. Yeah, that should do, I think. We just do 2. Where is bonds? Here we go. So,
All right. Are we good on bonds? Any other ones we want to throw in there? Excellent. Well, we've got some exciting characters. We've got some interesting bonds between them. I'm inclined to take a little bio break here and then return to hit the ground running with play. How's that sound, folks? Great. Let's take 10 minutes. I'll see you at around 13 past the hour. Hello, hello. Starting to come back.
Yep.
Do we have you, David? Give him a moment.
Can I ask before David gets back something real quick about the world?
Yeah, totally.
I'm guessing it's a high magic world, but how common is it to encounter people with magic? Is it practically everyone, or do the normal folks not immediately assume magic when something happens?
If something seemingly supernatural happens, people will assume magic is going on. There's like even magical infrastructure built into the city thanks to the Izzet's inventions. Not every single person is a magic user, though, right? So, there's plenty of people in and out of the guilds who are not wizards, clerics, warlocks, druids, casters of any sort.
Okay, but it should, in the course of a performance, I do something with magic, people are immediately going to recognize that that's just that's magic. That's a guy who can do magic.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Are we all back? Excellent. So, I think we open our scene in the opulence of an Orzhov cathedral, where the four of you have been summoned to a side chapel, and the kind of corpulent ghost of a high-ranking member of the Orzhov syndicate is sort of waiting for you there, kind of enthroned and attended by thralls and secretaries, as he is explaining to you what quest you have been gathered to embark upon today. He says, "Once again, it has proven expedient for our guilds to combine their forces and seek out a prize that will be enrichingly shared among us. We've received intelligence of a deep library, lost for decades, centuries even, below the surface of our dear and beloved city of Ravnica, and we think it is expedient that you recover as many books as possible from this deep library before word of it gets out to others who would meddle. Boros or Azorius would surely claim it under some technicality of the law, and we all know the Gruul would just want to burn the place down. So, I've had contracts prepared so that all the expectations are clear." And he kind of waves a hand, and some servitors shuffle forward, holding out contracts for you to sign, specifying, a weighty sum of Xenos to be received upon completion of this quest.
I'll say, are we the only team?
So you're asking the pontiff if you're the only ones being sent out here. He kind of hems and haws a little. It is not quite giving you a straight answer immediately. It's possible you want to discern realities, unless there's a different move you have in mind to try to get to the truth.
No, his responses answer enough. I don't think I need to roll, to be honest.
Fair enough. Osric, you are the most familiar with these surroundings and with the ins and outs of the Orzhov. What do you do about that contract being held out in front of you?
I think are there contracts for all of us?
Yeah, each member of this adventuring party is being proffered an Orzhov contract by bowing and scraping servitors.
Yeah, I think Osric might do his due diligence of waiting, hopefully until everyone else is signed, and then bring up the point of, does he have an official title?
Pontiff
Pontiff.
Orhova, yeah.
Yeah, your most excellent pontiff. I'm sure that my contract is already covered in my previous contracts. I don't think I need to sign another one, I'm sure. But I'm ready to go. And then just hand back the blank contract to whomever.
So just to check, did other folks sign these contracts?
I'm definitely going to be giving it a full look over. I know how badly you can get in trouble, and as I'm imagining, looking through it, there's giggles as I sort of look through. But primarily, I'm making sure that I'm not signing myself into some sort of servitude, particularly from it, and that I'm not getting my guild in trouble by whatever I do.
I see. Yeah, you spot something a little strange in the contract. It looks like there's a clause specifying that if you die during the quest, your spirits will be compelled to complete it for the Orzhov. What do you do?
I look up at great pontiff. As you surely know, my lord has claim to my soul. When it passes, I shall have my own fiery reward. I can hardly sign it away.
Oh, it's a standard rider. I'm sure that Rakdos wizards will be able to sort this out, and we can split your soul into as many pieces as are needed for you to pay back all of your obligations.
Shattering. Yes.
So you sign? Great. Yeah. So Osric, the pontiff looks to you and says, young sprig of the great Karlov lineage, I am afraid that there are some stipulations unique to this assignment, so we would appreciate your signature here. Not that we don't trust you, just that, as you know from your own family's motto, trust but verify.
I think he does the he bows maybe more than he needs to, just brown nosing basically. It's like, well, I'm only trying to save you some trouble. I know last time my contracts overlapped, and it took nearly decades in the Azorius to figure it all out. And I don't want to cause undue trouble with you or, like you said, my ancestor.
Oh.
So if you're sure, then I'll sign it if you want.
Sounds like you might be
name dropping.
Yeah, you might be parleying here with the leverage of your famous kin, and the sort of the threat or promise of them getting interested in what's going on here. Does that sound right to you?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Roll plus charisma to parley.
Yeah, do we have a dice roller, or should I just do physical?
I mean, physical dice are also okay, but I have a role for your party at Illegally Alert Cricket, and I'll drop the link to it into our chat.
Gotta love the names for those.
Yeah. Ta-da! Oh, is that your role, Osric? There.
No, I haven't got there yet.
Okay, I see. Somebody got the snake
There you go.
out of the way with a test roll. Nicely done.
Yeah, clear it for me. All the bad ones. Let's see. I'll go silver.
Okay, I think Orlick's reading isn't that great, so he'll kind of wiggle his rat skull necklace over the contract and then just sort of sign it. He doesn't really know what he's getting into.
Absolutely, yeah. Is his signature just an X mark or something?
Yeah, it's just a sort of scribble.
Yeah, I do think after you scribble it, you see it kind of magically resolve into like a neatly lettered version of your name as the Orzhov kind of roll up the contract with another bow.
All right. I think I'll hold my necklace up to my ear as if they're talking to me, and I'll sort of nod and back off a bit.
Thank you.
Okay.
I say, as far as it goes for me, I would look at the contract and see if it mentions Simic or Demir. If it only mentions Simic, then I'll sign it, knowing that technically it's not actually binding because of that.
Yeah, that sounds legit. If it's saying Carissa of the Simic, you're like, yes, I can sign this, but it doesn't really apply to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sign it thinking you'll surely be able to contest it if push comes to shove. That sounds right. All right. Any news on that parley, Osric?
Yeah. Yeah, I got I think an 8 total.
Okay. That's great. Yeah. On a 7-9, they need some concrete assurance of your promise right now. Nice. The pontiff, I think, kind of leans forward, his like ectoplasm creaking a little bit, as he says, "Very well, young Karlov. In lieu of a signature, I will trust in your word as a scion of your noble family. I will just need something to hold in pawn to represent the honor of House Karlov." And he kind of puts a hand forward expectantly. What do you do?
Oh, interesting. Let's see. Yeah, would I have something like that, like a signet ring type thing?
Sure, totally. Yeah, you definitely have a signet ring. Tell me who gave it to you and why you're sad to part with it.
Yeah, I think he's Karlov on his mother's side. And I think he she's kind of the one who's been kind of trying to whip him into shape.
Mm-hmm.
But this is kind of the maybe he's made some kind of similar kind of, I'll give you my word on this ring that you've handed down. And so he's like, well, she's definitely not going to be happy about this, but yeah, I got to do it. So maybe he does do that, dramatic look at the signet ring, and he has to undo his glove. It's like under his glove and everything.
Right.
Fine.
All right. Yeah, if you pass over the ring, the pontiff's kind of ghostly hands close eagerly around it, and he says, "Very well. I will have my assistants provide you with all of the intelligence we have found about the route to the deep library." And you're handed, dossiers. Whichever of you are most able to interpret the written word would be able to read them and guide the party. Any other business in the cathedral before you set off? All right. The intelligence you have points to, as the entrance to the deep library, a particular flagstone in the 9th district of Ravnica. It's a flagstone that bears the sigil of the Guild Pact, symbol of the magical law that keeps peace among the guilds, and otherwise serves as sort of the constitution of Ravnica as a whole, and kind of set into the stone of this paving stone. That Guild Pact signal marks the spot for you. As you arrive and look around, I would love to paint the scene here. Here's that Guild Pact sigil to help picture your target. But what do you see in this particular corner of the 9th district that tells you this territory has changed hands many times, it hasn't stayed for long under the control of any one guild or faction? Carissa, first, what do you notice?
I think it's like each guild has its own particular style when they build something, architecturally, whatever, and you can just see just layers and layers, some stuff crumbling and pieces of old guild, like they kind of, it's almost like the main building here gets refaced every time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I bet there's a section that of what clearly used to be an is it laboratory from all the like weird like coils coming out of it, but now it's like been like covered in kind of Gruul graffiti claiming it for the Gruul clans. Tyler, what do we? Delic, what do you notice that fills you in as to the constantly shifting nature of loyalties and allegiance in this neighborhood of the city?
The small folk, the common people, all seem to wear very similar outfits, as in there's not an extremity of style, and it's all in very drab, plain colors, so that they never have to worry about being associated with someone who might be on the outs.
Excellent. Yeah. You see them kind of going about their business in like a slightly skittish fashion, picking their way through the square, checking, keeping an eye out for when the next conflict might erupt that they want to keep their heads down from. Osric, what do you see here that kind of drives home for you that this is an area whose provenance has shifted many times?
So maybe there's like a little kind of like square.
Yeah, there's a square.
Yeah, and I'm thinking there's a big kind of like marble statue.
Ooh, cool.
Or stone statue, I guess. That's some figure in robes kind of holding up their hands like this. And then, but they're like whatever head was on there, and maybe their hands too, are like very obviously like different stone or something that they've been like cut off and replaced. And at this point, it's like a very clearly like elf. Like maybe the ears are even like exaggerated, like they go above the head even. Like this is an elf. You might have thought it was something else before, but no, this has always been an elf. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I love it. actually, and or like tell me what does the kind of the refuse or critters of this of this stretch of the city tell you? Like how did they kind of make their presence felt to you and let you know about the sort of pervasive feel of nervousness in this corner?
I think there's some sort of banners that have been put up recently, one for each of the main guilds. And what they're hiding is the walls behind them, which have got like acid scars where there's been some sort of acid used in magic. And that's sort of badly washed off the discoloration on the walls, but the actual dents in the stone on the wood are still there. So they've just whacked up some cheap banners for each of the guilds to say, we're friendly with everybody, but it's just covering up a recent fight.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. So, and as you're scoping out this area, kind of remembering your the briefing you've received, which tells you the entrance to the passage down to this deep library lies under this flagstone. You hear something of a commotion, and it looks like there's maybe a demonstration, or less charitably, a riot happening a few blocks away. And kind of coming from that direction comes a gaggle of people. It looks like there's several Azorius arresters that are all kind of working together to move along a kind of weakly resisting Cyclops, who's wearing some of the kind of tattered barbaric clothes of the Gruul clans, and you see the arresters like drag him over, toss him onto that flagstone, and some Azorius mages start like setting up around him. Looks like they're setting up some kind of a spell. Carissa, let me check in with you first. What do you do observing this situation?
I think, to me, it seems like it's best to leave them alone, but we do need to get in. So, with all this, the change and how things get built over and over, I'm thinking there's probably another way in, or a way to get around this one entrance. And so I'm going to kind of search around and see if I find anything that seems promising.
Nice. Tell me, do you think this is more of you consulting your knowledge that you already have, thinking back to what you know of this stretch of the city, looking for a passageway, or is it discern realities where you're poking around and checking out the situation on the ground? Because I think this sounds like either a spout lore roll or a discern realities roll.
I would think it's more of a discern realities.
Then please roll plus wisdom.
Okay. That is 7 plus whatever. 8 total.
All right, you get one of the questions from that discern realities list. Do you have that? Do you have that in front of you?
Yeah.
What do you ask? And tell me a little about what it looks like as you search for this, right?
Yeah. So probably. I guess the question would be, what should I be on the lookout for? Or maybe what here is useful. But as I'm kind of looking around, I'm wanting to avoid these Azorius guys. They can get pretty serious. Their magic's pretty, it can be a hindrance. And I just, I don't feel like we need to get involved with them. And so I'm kind of looking around, seeing if I see anything that, it's out of place, or, maybe a loose, a loose, cap over some pipe or something, some way that, like I said, a way to get in there without having to go through that flagstone.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that building you saw that looked like formerly is it, now kind of gruel tagged. There's a kind of like a window well near it, clearly leading down to some kind of a basement, and it's unsecured. So there is a way to slip under the ground. It does look like a pretty skinny passageway, though, right? Like you are a vampire and an elf. You are definitely gonna be in the top percentile for kind of slenderness and nimbleness. I think you aren't sure as you discover this passage whether your fellow party members could take advantage of it, but it certainly gives you the opportunity to get below street level if you so desire.
And I think I would slip down there, and it gives me time to look around, maybe see if there's something that's would be of interest to me that I'd rather the others not know existed or whatever.
Totally. We'll check back in on that in a moment. Delic, you see that more kind of motley people and beings are being brought towards the square. Looks like the Azorius mages have set off some kind of a spell, and it's creating a sort of blue field of stasis. The Cyclops is kind of standing frozen in the midst of it. Higher up Azorius members are kind of shouting orders, and you see some more people being kind of dragged towards the square. Definitely, you spot some Rakdos among them. Other folks who look just ungilded, perhaps caught up in the crossfire. But
can I just check? Have we seen this sort of thing before, or is this like a new thing that's been happening in the city?
The Azorius crackdowns have been getting more frequent and more kind of indiscriminate. They want to maintain order. Certainly some of the other guilds have always resented them for this, but they've been acting a touch more police state like in the last few months.
The seal there.
Yeah.
Is that something common around the city? Is that a place of judgment, or is this kind of unique?
Oh, the Guild Pact seal, you say?
Mm-hmm.
It's a frequent motif in architecture. The Guild Pact is this really important kind of text binding the city together. So the symbol comes up a lot. At first glance, it looks like the Azorius are just using this place because it's a convenient, clear space where they can set up their spell.
Okay, I think I'm attempting. I will have crept a little closer, being curious and all, and I'm trying to figure out what they're enacting. I'd like to study this spell.
Absolutely. Sounds like it might be discern realities, or spout lore is also plausible. What do you think?
I think I'm pushing towards a spout lore, that this is something that I've seen being a wizard myself.
Right. Your magic tends towards the showy, but surely surely in your course of study you've learned a little about the utilitarian spells the Azorius would use as well. Yeah, please go ahead and roll plus intelligence.
Alrighty. That will give me an 11.
Oh, excellent. Let me tell you something interesting and useful about the subject. The Azorius are casting a stasis spell, hoping to hold these prisoners steady, and I think you know that to hold this to hold like a large group, and it looks like they might be building towards that. They'll need 4 mages at the corners of the spell maintaining it. Right, the stasis field does not have a sort of inertia of its own. It needs spellcasters maintaining it to stay up.
And they're doing their call. People are being brought in by sort of the siren call of it, or just the spectacle of it.
People are being brought in. So some people are being dragged over and pushed into it.
Right.
There's probably some spectators gathering around looking, though. I think trying to like make themselves not too notable, but interested to see what the Azorius are up to.
And you mentioned the people that are being brought in as prisoners. They are from multiple clans.
Yeah, looks like people from a couple different guilds. Some of the more I'd say some of the kind of more proletariat guilds are being dragged this way.
Okay, and with the stasis spell, with me looking into this, doing a ritual is big. So, are they wanting to do more than just like hold these prisoners here? They could do that with smaller things.
I'm not totally sure I understand the question.
They're doing this massive ritual that's causing a stasis. They could just manacle them. Is there something that this is leading to? Does this look like it's a ritual building up to something bigger?
Well, you did roll well on that. So I'll say, yeah, it looks like what this could build up to is just a mass transport spell as well. That their plan might be hold these people in stasis, and then once there's enough of them, teleport them right to some kind of courtroom for trial.
Gotcha. And so this is just an arrest. I'll sort of look over towards my companions and notice one of them is missing, and probably be looking towards I guess Osric to see what he's making of this roundup of folks. Is this something to stick our nose into, or do we have more important things?
Yeah. You probably catch a glance though from one of the Azorius who's bustling around, who says something like, "What are you looking at, Rakdos? You want to join them in there?"
I'm just enjoying the sights, my friend. Everyone finds pleasure in their work now, don't they?
Osric, you've received a questioning glance, at least from your friend Delic. What do you do?
Yeah, so is it only the mages doing this, or are they like a supervisor or anything?
Yeah, I mean, why do you ask?
Looks like he's looking for someone to, I guess, to address of these Azorius.
Yeah, looks like there's someone you recognize who's given some of these orders. There appear to be several Azorius arresters with the orator Doromir Valenko seemingly calling the shots.
Oh no! Okay, yeah, that's good. Okay, so I think he's got to make his way over to him. Just with paladin-like purpose, like looking very official, I guess.
He's just striding over then. Do you think Doromir recognizes you as a vampire? Did you cut off contact right when you turned? So it would be surprising for him to see you in your presumably in your kind of preserved youthful form, right, and other vampire attributes here.
I was kind of thinking like they both knew what happened, and it's been years. Kind of maybe I was thinking he has moved on, but Osric certainly has not.
Yeah, great. Yeah, so Doromir's eyes go to you. he kind of, cocks an eyebrow a little. He's like, Osric, what are you doing here in this part of the city?
Well, and he kind of like, is more postured than normal. So, well, just official business.
Are the Orzhov finally heeding our requests? Are you going to help us quell these rioters?
Well, I don't know anything about that, but I was going to ask what's going on here. Is that the situation?
He kind of sighs. He says, these Gruul and Rakdos and Golgari even getting big ideas about restructuring this city when the structure we have works fine. Am I right?
Well, I can't argue with that. It's worked fine so far.
There's a reason we have laws. Someone's got to enforce those. Sometimes it's messy. I grant, but we can't live in a city if we're not willing to enforce these things. Throw them in with the others, he says to the arresters, kind of dragging some squealing goblins into the square.
Well, I don't want to interfere with what you're doing here. I'm sure you don't want to interfere with what I'm doing. So, is there a way we can move past this?
What are you doing? You didn't answer me yet.
Well, you know how it is. I have so many forms of confidentiality. I might be able to tell you once we're done, but you understand.
What are you trying to do here?
I think I'm trying to get him to give us almost like special privilege to just like not be involved in this and go about our stuff.
Interesting.
Although I think I could, depending on what he was trying to get out of it, it seemed like he was trying to get us to help. And I think, just throw it out there, I think Osric could be swayed to do that too. If it comes to that.
I see. Yeah. So it's not quite a parley move yet till you have leverage. Though maybe the leverage is if it looks like he's shorthanded and you step forward to fill the gap there.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a charged enough situation to use I am the law, but I think I was kind of building to that.
Use I am the law.
But I don't think it's right there.
Oh, interesting. I don't know if you can. I don't know if it makes as much sense to say you're using I am the law on Doramir, but if you want to kind of just stride over to where the Azorius arresters are dealing with this unruly crew and try to lay down the law there, that's totally legit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Doramir like turns and he sees like a massive ogre being kind of dragged over, and the ogre like waves an arm and like tosses like two Azorius away, and then starts like beating his chest and like grabs the Azorius banner hanging from the building and like tears it down and starts like waving it, and some like smaller beings like some Rakdos imps and little kind of goblins are like cheering and like gathering around the ogre. So how's that for a paladin bait for you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Orzhov paladins are so interesting. I think I think maybe so. He was very professional up until now.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I froze for a second. But I think he maybe sees this going on, leans over to a door, and is just like, well, just between friends, if we're looking for something here, and this is this ride is definitely going to slow us down. Do you think we could help each other out off the books here?
He kind of looks at you. It's like, just between friends, eh? What kind of help are you asking for?
Well, and then to remind myself, we're looking for this hidden secret ancient library, right? Is our main goal?
Looking for a hidden secret ancient library, and you think it's right under the flagstone that the Azorius are setting up their little magic stasis field on top of.
Yeah, exactly. So I think he's going to do the thing where you point with your eyes, and he's like, we need to get right under there. And I mean, I don't know if they were specific, but time is usually of the essence with these things.
Yeah.
He's like, is there anything I can do to speed this along, or perhaps encourage you to do this later?
Yeah, I don't. So tell me if you're married to doing a parley roll, but I think you almost don't even need to do one here, right? Because this seems like a straightforward exchange, where he says, "Get that ogre to cooperate, and we'll let you do your spelunking."
Yeah, and I think he looks at him and like hides a smile. It's like almost like he smiled, but he hides it. It's like, all right, that sounds reasonable. Nice doing business with you. And then I guess turns back to the other, noticing no one of them is gone, but to Delic and Orlick.
Yeah.
Just and I think I had Osric has like a big halberd. He kind of grips it and comes over and just like, all right, if we can get this this big friend into that circle, then we can continue on. I made a little deal.
Well, that's good. Yes. They seem to be taking members of my clan, however. That's most unfortunate.
Well, they did nothing wrong. Azorius has ways to figure that out. They'll probably be out sooner than later.
Such faith in the processes of the justice system. Or like, how are you reacting to all this? You've
the banner the ogre's holding. Can I do abrupt decay on it?
Oh, just cast your spell right at that Azorius banner.
Yeah, I'm just going to jiggle my necklace at it, and yeah, I'm trying to just lower the ogre's morale by just taking away his weapon, basically.
Yeah, totally. So what that looks like, you think, is you're kind of wielding your skull necklace as a sort of a focal point of magical power.
Yep.
Please roll to cast a spell. I think plus wisdom, since you're a cleric.
Yep. So it's +1. 7.
Nice. So you will cast the spell, but you choose a drawback from the list.
Got too many things open. Unwelcome attention's fine.
Interesting. Okay, so let's check on abrupt decay. That is your signature Golgari spell. Choose an artifact you can see. It crumbles away, consumed by worms, fungus, rust, or other forces of entropy. If a being was wearing or holding that artifact, they take 1d4 damage. Yeah, tell me what the decay looks like. Is it like worms suddenly eating you away?
It's just rats somewhere everywhere, just go whoop, and they just crawl all over it, and then they go away, and there's nothing there.
Yeah, and like some of them, bite the ogre for good measure here.
Yeah, one will sort of come on me on the way back, and I give it a pat and say, off you go.
roll me 1d4.
4.
Nice. Like one of the rats gets in like a nice good bite, like right on like the ogre's neck or something. So he's like tries to swat at the rat, right, and is kind of just hitting himself a little, and the followers around him are kind of are shocked and dismayed by this. The Azorius are kind of stepping forward again, readying their magic and their weapons. However, you have attracted unwelcome attention to yourself. Let's put a pin in that for a second and cut down to below street level. Carissa, you slithered through that opening you found to get to below the cobblestones. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. I think what you find is that formerly Is It building kind of connects right up into the steamworks, the sort of tunnels running below the streets, and so you can see differently colored kind of tubes and ducts all around you, some of which have like kind of steam or electricity sparking or pouring off of them. What do you do? You were hoping to look around here and find something, I think.
Yeah, so I didn't know what I would find once I got down there, but first off, this is obviously a dangerous place. You never know what the heck is it's had in their pipes and whatnot. So probably the first thing I'm doing is checking. It's technically check for traps, but just kind of checking make sure it's safe down here.
Yeah, absolutely.
After that, I'd be looking to see if maybe they left some kind of technology or magic or something behind that I could take for myself.
Absolutely. Go ahead and roll plus dexterity with your trap expert move.
Okay. That is a 10.
Nicely done. Yeah, you can. You've got 3 hold, which you can spend to ask these questions. And you can do all that at once, or dole it out if you want to hang on to one, or hang on to more than one. But what do you want to do? What do you want to find out most?
Let's just start with is there a trap here, and if so, what activates it?
Yeah. I'd say you may be able to like make your way kind of basically under the street, and you maybe hear like pounding on the street above you from some of the goings on up there. You make your way over and see the underside of the flagstone with the Guild Pact insignia, and you see there's a mechanism attached to it. And if you look at it closely, you find the levers that operate it, such that there's definitely a way to just kind of lower the whole flagstone down into the Undercity. You've done your trap expert. You got a big success, so I think you definitely now kind of by like poking the levers a moment, right? You see it like kind of lurch up a second, you know which levers you need to use to move the flagstone up and down if you desire.
Okay. Is what else is hidden here?
And it sounded like you were interested in, is it technological secrets? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I think clearly like abandoned here in haste when the is it lost this building to a gruel raid. You see kind of a like large brass orb, and by kind of experimentally poking at it and pulling your hand back real quick in case it's a trap too. You find the way to open part of it, such that you see inside a miniature model of the Ninth District itself, with kind of glowing markings in red and blue that seem like they might pertain to the ley lines of mana or other kind of magical infrastructure of the city that the Izzet are interested in.
Just like, is it map or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I tell at all what's kind of happening up above just from the sounds or anything?
Sure. I'm sure you can. I'm sure you hear that there's some uproar up there. That there's sounds like a large creature causing a ruckus with other creatures starting to surround it. Is there other things you wanted to more specifically hear? Because it's
not
possible.
necessarily.
Yeah.
So as far as these levers and stuff go, does it lower the entire guild pack sigil, or does it have like maybe one of the guild sigil, like you can control individual parts?
Sure, yeah. You find the set of buttons that allow you to be like, yeah, I want specifically the Simic symbol up there to rise to slide down into here. Yeah, I'm sure you can find those.
I think I'll wait a little bit listening to what's going on above, but we can come back to that. So
okay, so you're staying kind of poised down below, listening for
kind of listening to what's going on, and at an opportune moment, I might lower a part of this or all of it, or
Yeah, I gotcha. So, I think up above, or like you might, um, a handful of figures kind of in a nearby alley who seem to be looking more at you than at the other drama going on. But if you turn and try to see them, they kind of they fade away quickly. So it's hard to tell what's going on there. But Osric, certainly the ogre has been caught off balance as rats have just eaten away at that banner he was wielding. What do you do?
Yeah, I think this is the perfect time to use Eye on the Wall, right?
I think so. Tell me what that looks like.
Yeah, I think. How tall are ogres? Are they like double our height, basically, or?
Yeah, at least. And he's a big guy, so you're looking up at him if you're trying to address him.
So yeah, I think as I'm walking over, I do one of those, good job, Orlick, let's go, and just kind of walk up, stare up at him defiantly, I guess, Just like, all right, I think you know you're in trouble here. Why don't you just get in there and then let them sort this out? Just go ahead and step in their circle.
No, not stepping in their circle. Who are you to tell me what to do?
Kind of looks up. I don't know what you're trying to accomplish here, but you're ruining everyone's day. Why don't you just get this over with? You've already made your point. We get it. Tell the judges down in wherever the Azor is taking you.
All right. Go ahead and roll I am the law.
Yeah, it surely can't go wrong. A 9. So close.
You got a 9?
Yeah.
Here's my question. Does anyone want to assist Osric here?
Like you're right there at him.
Say
Yeah,
again?
I'm just wondering what I could do. I guess I can sort of stand behind him and I'm sort of jiggling my my rat skull necklace around as if I'm blessing him and he's the Pope sort of thing, and I'm blessing his effort.
Osric, how do you feel about being blessed by the rat god when you yourself are loyal to only capital and the obligations that accrue thereunto?
I think he's pretending not to notice, just in case, or like charges him for this help later. So it's going through his mind.
Great. Or like roll plus bonds with Osric, and let's see how you do here helping him out.
7.
Oh, great. So on a 7, you get to choose for him to take +1 or -2, but you'll also expose yourself to danger, retribution, or cost.
Damn, because that's why I was helping. I'm trying to transfer the aggro to him. Yeah, maybe give him the +1, but maybe one of the Azurites has a good look at me, and he's going to try and have a chat later or something.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that sounds right. Okay, so with the +1, you've got a 10 on I am the law. So the person you're giving the order to gets to choose whether they do what you say, back away cautiously, then flee, or attack you. And on a 10+, you take +1 forward against them. Osric, you've just ordered an ogre to stand down and step into a stasis field. The ogre bellows at you, pounds his fists on his chest and kind of raises them up, obviously winding up to slam you with them. What do you do?
Yeah, if it seems like if he doesn't accept me as the law, then I've just got to show him the law side of his halberd.
Okay. What does that look like?
I think he just kind of rolls his eyes and maybe does the Jim thing, looks back to Orlick and just I tried, and then he's gonna just try and I think kneecap him, I guess, hit this guy's leg so we can hopefully get him in there.
Yeah. All right. Roll to hack and slash plus your strength modifier.
Yeah, and then plus another 1, right?
Yes. An additional +1 from your I am the law result.
Okay, that's good. I might actually need that. I rolled pretty low.
What did it come to?
Still a 5.
Oh no! So add it all together, that's a 5?
Yeah, I rolled a 3, so +2. Yeah.
Yeah. So you level your halberd, you are kind of hearing the chanting of the choirs of Orzhova in your head, calling you forward to righteous war. And as you start heading towards the ogre's knee, he sees that that's what you're doing, lifts a foot and just kicks you square in the chest. So take 1d8 damage, and you are knocked backwards and are stumbling right towards that stasis field yourself.
Ooh, yeah, that's good.
Delic, you've seen the show going on here. What do you do as your allies are ending up in this ogre brawl?
I'm sure they can take care of themselves. I'm looking across the ones being arrested to see if any of my guild I recognize are particularly important.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, tell me who from your guild you see getting booked here. That's someone you had really hoped to impress with your latest act in order to get a shot at a bigger venue.
Ooh, I think they've actually managed to stumble across one of the most capable of our spoken word rabble rousers, who is probably down here trying to drum, probably a person who really deserves to be arrested, honestly. But who travels about and is known for being able to whip people into a bloody frenzy. And we'll call her Dahlia. Dahlia is, it is said that her words are cutting, but not nearly so much as her nails, as she will dig down to find people's real desires and bring it from them on stage. And so as I see her over there, I'm trying to kind of worm my way back by saying, "Oh my goodness, look at that! Oh, it's a terrible thing! Oh, get them, Osric!" And I'm worming my way around towards her, kind of trying to skirt the outside of the Azorites. Is that right?
The Azorius are the arresters here. You'd drawn some sharp glances from the Azorius right before this too, I think. So it sounds like you're trying to defy danger to make your way to Dahlia without getting grabbed and booked by Azorius cops yourself.
Makes sense. Is it you think I'm charismaing because I'm trying to direct attention other ways, or what do you think? Dex?
Ooh, if it's if you're using your charisma to accomplish this this defiance of danger, then roll plus charisma.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think I'm trying to deflect attention away from me as I move. And thank goodness I did, because that's a 7.
Oh, interesting. I gotta offer you a worse outcome, hard bargain, or ugly choice. Yeah. So I think at this point, yeah, I think at this point the Zorius are getting increasingly upset with what's going on. You see Dahlia getting basically magic handcuffed. Like someone is slapping a floating runic sigil around one of her wrists, and you realize the only way you're going to get close enough to communicate with her is if you just get yourself handcuffed right next to her. So do you go for that, Delic?
Is the person arresting her with a group of his fellows or more separated? That will make the decision. Like, are most of them focusing on this fight and he's grabbed the nearest prisoner and slapping on the cuffs? Or is he in the midst of a whole bunch of them?
I want to pick the answer that gives you a cool thing to do. So it sounds like the first one is kind of what you're rooting for.
I'd love that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the former. It's a lot of people are distracted. This guy is just like, oh, better start cuffing people if it's gonna, things are gonna get nasty. We want, the fewest people with hands free as possible, right? So yeah, he's just going for it. What do you do?
I move over then and catching his attention as he probably rounds me up as I go, oh goodness, and so Dahlia sees me. But as I look at him, I'm like, this is very dangerous for your prisoners. You should move us towards safety. And I'm going to try and cast Charm Person.
All right. Please do roll to cast a spell with intelligence.
All right. Come on, dice. Be kind. Well, it's an 8.
All right. So you're gonna get the spell effect. You're gonna apply Charm Person to him, which I believe means he will count you as a friend until he takes damage or you prove otherwise. However, you pick one of the drawbacks from the 7 through 9 cast a spell list.
Yes, and I think I'm going to take I think I'm going to lose the spell.
Got it. Yeah. What does it look and feel like for spells you've prepared to be kind of discharged and out of your ken for the moment?
I think as I speak to him, there's a bit of a spark in my eye that's actually like a twinkle. It's not like my eyes glow red, but there's sort of a fiery spark for a moment. And that's it going off. But having lost it, I think as I exhale, there's this little bit of steam with a slight smell of brimstone to it.
Nice.
As I go, we please, officer. As I'm motioning us, kind of moving maybe to a doorway or an alley, somewhere where we'll be out of the fight.
Yeah. He looks confused a second. He's like, of course, just protecting the public. It's my number one responsibility. This way, we'll keep you safe. I want to check in with Carissa down below the street because it sounds like you might have some sort of an idea.
It kind of depends on how quickly these mechanisms work, but I kind of had this thought of, I saw before kind of where they were preparing their stasis field, and I figure I know, the basics of how they've been doing these things of put them in stasis, then teleport them to the courtroom.
Yeah. Go on.
This mechanism essentially try to drop all the people in stasis down below and see if we can convince the Azura that, oh shit, somebody just fired the teleportation spell off early. And essentially I want to free all these people, but they owe me.
This is a fascinating plan. Let's
it can go terribly wrong.
So firstly, let me just check in. I'm giving out some guild esteem. I think that consuming a banner with rats is a very Golgari move. So a guild esteem to Orlick. Osric, you made a deal and then charged in. I think that is what is expected of the Orzhov Paladin. Take a guild esteem token. I feel like something more Rakdos-y is about to happen, so I'm not sure if Delic has the esteem yet. It seems like we're on the cusp. And yeah, I feel similarly to Mir. I don't know. Do you think you've grown in the eyes of Mir, or do you think you're about to do something to earn that?
I'd say
I was going to say. I was going to say when we were giving these out, Carissa, like sneaking off to do your own thing in the middle of something is pretty demure.
Also stealing that is it thing. Yeah, I buy it. All right. An demure guild esteem for you, supposed Simic. Yeah. So you're basically hoping that you can fling this flagstone down below the surface in such a way that the Azorius are confused about what's happened above.
Pretty much.
Give me a defy danger with intelligence here, because you want to operate this mechanism well enough that you are bamboozling the cops, right?
Yeah, that's not good. Got a nice 5.
Yeah, that's great. So you think you find the lever that's supposed to bring the whole flagstone down and pull it?
Yeah.
So I think you do that. You hear like a rumble, and like the flagstone kind of descends from street level, but not quite so fast that the guards can't see that's what's happened. It comes down. Let's see. Worse outcome, hard bargain, or ugly choice. Let's tie this in here. Yeah. You see, right, that you can bring it down, and then you'll have, in fact, you catch a glimpse of what's going on above, and you realize if you have it just continue going down, your friend Osric will be able not to fall into it, right? That like he was stumbling right back towards that stasis field, and if you bring bring the whole flagstone down into the earth, Osric won't fall in. On the other hand, the Azorius are going to spot you. However, if you fling that lever back and send the whole thing back up, the Azorius might just write it off as a little blip. But Osric's definitely getting stasis. What do you do?
So it'll depend on your answer to this. If I were to flip it back up, would I be able to get up there myself?
Yeah, probably.
Then I want to flip it back up and let him get stuck.
All right, and just like flip it back up with like enough, and like have it like rise just a little above the surface of the street, so you can like slip right back up that way. Or yeah.
And I'm wanting to, because my thinking here is, this would be the perfect time for me to, while he's stuck in stasis, try and get that secret from him. Or using the guild move.
Okay. So for any of the other PCs who are watching closely, you see like a shudder, and it seems like the flagstone starts sinking down into the street, right? The whole stasis field moving with it, and then it like suddenly goes back up, and Osric, who was stumbling backwards, tried to like catch himself, suddenly gets caught in the stasis field coming back up, and so he's like right at the edge of the stasis field as the flagstone like kind of settles back, just a little like with a little like sliver of darkness between it and the the rest of the field there. All right, Orluk, I'm checking in with you because you were blessing the paladin, and then he got punted into the stasis field. Now there's an ogre kind of like taking a like wide stance in front of you as he says, "And what are you, puny rot mage? You throw your lot in with the oppressors." Ah! And he's reaching a hand like he's just gonna grab you and throw you. What do you do?
Scramble between his legs, and I'm just gonna try and kite him towards the oppressors, and using him chasing me to get them out of the way, sort of thing.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, so him chasing me is me causing confusion and giving other people a chance to get away because I'm running at the other oppressors.
Nice. So you're basically trying to lead him on a little chase where he goes stumbling like through the Azorius lines, basically.
Yeah.
It's plausible that's defy danger with dexterity, with kind of your speediness here. But if you have a pitch for a different move,
I know that's what I was going. That's what I was thinking.
Roll plus dex.
10.
Nice. Okay, yeah, you totally do what you set out to do here. You are avoiding any blows from the ogre, and instead he's like stumbling through and like smacking Azorius soldiers out of the way who had, thought that you guys were taking care of all this. You want to tell me anything more about what that looks like?
I'm probably jiggling my skull necklace and go, "Hee, look out, there's an ogre," just pretending to be manic.
Yeah, absolutely. Delic, let's check in with you. You have lured an Azorius arrestor away with you and the and Dahlia, who is now like magically handcuffed to you. She shoots you a look, kind of behind the guy's back as he's looking around, checking out where he's going. And she's like, "I hope you have any idea what you're doing here, Moreau."
It's going to be funny. And is there a physical bond? Is it just energy, or is there like a link of chain, or what's holding us together?
I think it is a link of magical energy chain. So it would have a physical impact on the world unless the spell is broken.
So as he's gotten us back to whatever little at the distance, and there's plenty of big distraction off to the side. I'll look from her back towards him, and him looking, "My goodness, that's terrible," as he hopefully turning towards the thing.
Yeah, you're just doing a look of distraction deal.
And I'm going to give her the look as we wrap that thing around his neck and yank him back into the shadows and begin choking him down.
Classic weaponized handcuffs here. Let's see. I think you're sneak attacking someone pretty defenseless, actually. So is your plan to kill this guy, or just choke him out and leave him here, or what's
I suppose the biggest tension is that he doesn't make any noise to attract attention. I want ideally we uncuff ourselves. I'll turn him over to her, but I need some of his blood, please. You've brought this guy down. I'm gonna give you a Rakdos esteem for pulling this maneuver, and she pulls from her bag of tricks a little dagger with a vial on the end of it, just jabs it into the guy. The vial fills up. She hands it to you. Thank you. You should go.
You've impressed me, Moreau. I look forward to seeing your next performance.
Oh, you honor me. As I will sort of just casually begin strolling over towards the fight, putting that vial of blood into a pocket inside. I know a friend who could use that.
Osric, what is going through your mind as you find your kind of limbs stilled in the stasis field, and you see the sort of chaos of the fight unfolding around you?
Oh, you're still conscious? That's terrifying. Oh, yeah. That's great. I want to also ask, did that ogre kick, would my armor help with that? Or is that more of a concussive thing?
Oh, good point. How much damage did you end up taking from it?
Just 2.
And do you have 2 armor?
Yeah. So it's a between 0 and 2 damage.
Yeah, I think plausibly your armor absorbed the force of the blow. It's just that you went staggering backwards. So your hit points remain the same, and the like main consequence is this stasis field.
Yeah, it makes sense. I feel that's even more of a bruise for him. I think yeah, he's definitely not happy about this. And I mean, Carissa can be trusted implicitly, as I knew from before, so I'm sure she didn't have anything to do with this. But
I made sure you saw me coming up, so you probably think I want to help you.
yeah. Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah. Okay. So you're primarily like spotting your ally and thinking, "Oh, good, Carissa's gonna fix this for me."
Yeah, I think if there's any way to get out of it, he's going to try to. But although expecting that there's probably not.
It does not feel like something you can just shake off with your strength. It may feel like yeah. I think like the only trick you've got in your arsenal is the Orzhov kind of communion with spirits, right? So it's possible you could call some kind of ghostly aid, but that would likely mean owing a debt for any sort of help that's rendered that way.
Yeah, exactly. That seems like way too much hassle. I think he's almost waiting expectantly for his friends to help him.
All right. So Carissa, you reemerge on the up here on the surface and see a helpless Osric in the stasis field. What do you do?
Oh, so kind of along my thinking is, Osric is not normally as vulnerable as he is right now, and probably being in this, his mind is focused on the fight and focused on trying to get out, which is why I'd like to try using the guild move on him to extract that secret I was ordered to get.
What does this look like? Often the Demir are pictured kind of just like pulling strands of thought from people's minds. Is it like one of these like you reach out and kind of pluck on a thread of magic that causes the thought to like make its way out of Osric and come into your hands?
Yeah, I think it's some kind of like, maybe, my eyes kind of roll back because it's kind of a dreamlike state.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it kind of looks like from Harry Potter whenever, they're getting the memories or whatever.
Oh yeah, the pensive style, yeah.
So yeah, I'm trying to kind of search through, and it may be more like strings, like it's almost like trying to play an instrument or something. I've got to be careful trying to find the right memory and not, give away that I'm there.
Yeah, well, go ahead and roll plus dex, and we'll see how well you do at that.
All right. So that is 9 to 11.
That's an 11?
Yeah.
Okay, so not only do you get to ask one of these questions, but they have no idea you've done this.
Yeah. And so what I'm kind of thinking here is kind of backtrack what we said earlier about me knowing about him going after the angel. Because I want to say, what is your character's secret plans?
Oh, I see. And that's
we did know the angel was a target, but not exactly what the plan was.
Yeah. So Osric, what secret plans about your quest to slay this angel does Carissa, unbeknownst to you, extract from your mind here?
Wait, is that character secret pains?
Oh yes, I think move as written. It is pains, but if plans
Fine.
work for
Fine.
everyone here, happy to do that. You know, fitting the
I
fiction
just
we've
see
got going on.
Yeah, that's fine.
the plans. Good old dyslexia.
Oh, you're fine. I'll try to roll that in. I think he. Okay, yeah. Here you go. I think. Let's see. Maybe it's like a memory of, like him almost, maybe not quite begging, but trying to make a really emotional plea to work more with the Azorius, or maybe and maybe you get this memory of Dormir in particular, and you're like, oh, that person there, that's weird, and kind of you just get her of how still kind of in love with him, and how this quest to get this angel is almost kind of a punishment, and the full plans are just like kill this angel, and maybe since this will take you so long, it'll get your mind off this person until hopefully this human dies. Since you're a vampire, you'll outlive them. So that's kind of pains and plans combined for you.
Pains and plans combined.
All right. Yeah, I think after I kind of get that, it is almost like it's kind of like I almost like cut that one particular string out and then put it back. Eyes go back to normal. But I think once I finish that, I'm going to look to see maybe who is the main person casting the stasis spell, or what I can do to disrupt it and free him.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, it looks like there's 4 Azorius mages at each corner of the the bottom square of this cube of bluish magic energy that comprises the stasis spell. There's one nearby who looks like this maybe is their first day on the job. They are kind of like trembling a little as they're maintaining the spell.
Just I think I'll go towards them, not trying to be threatening or anything, and I'm going to like apply the golden root to my lips and just like kiss him. It throws him off, but now he's like, I should be the first person he sees.
Oh man, classic femme fatale move. The effect of the poison is the target trusts the next creature they see as a trusted ally until proved otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like he blinks a couple times. He's like, what? Where have you been all my life?
Oh, that doesn't matter, but what does matter is where we can go together. If you'll leave this, behind, we can find a nice corner or something.
But I mean, wow, but I'm supposed to maintain this spell though.
Oh, you're not necessary to. You're young. You're in training. Just you leaving wouldn't break the spell.
Plausibly, this is a parley. Manipulating an NPC here.
Yeah, I'd agree. Let's see. Oh, that's bad. I got a whole 4 on that.
Oh boy. So let's see what we got here. Um, yeah. I think he will. I think he will kind of like nod, like totally, starstruck and gobsmacked. Like lower his hands, and the stasis field just suddenly lets up, right? The others are struggling to try to reapply it, but you've knocked out one of the corners of this shape. Um, However, this is obvious to the other Azorius around here, right? And so there's a voice yelling, what's going on there? Maintain the stasis field. And then it's obviously Doromir Valenko, who you would recognize from the memory you just took from Osric, who spots you and says "What's that? What are you doing there, Simic? Leave my people alone. We're trying to maintain order here."
If I see that Osric has gotten free, I'll kind of back off and be like, "Go ahead, put it back up. I didn't mean to cause any problems."
Yeah. This poor young Azorius mage doesn't know what's going on here, but he's scrambling to try to put the field back up. But in the meantime, Doromir is striding over towards you. It's a suspicious stare creasing his face. Osric, you've come free from the stasis field a little. What do you do?
So from Osric's perspective, I think it was just Carissa coming over to kind of maybe help him, and then making out with this Azorius and then leaving together, which I love. It's like, oh, good. Plans within plans. You got this under control.
Yep.
And I think he's going to try to intercept Doromir.
Got it.
Where's the ogre actually?
The ogre you can see the ogre kind of charging around. Orlick is leading him on a merry little chase. Definitely he's causing problems for the Azorius, but Orlick seems to be handling himself without being in too much danger, just by being much more nimble than this lumbering ogre.
Wow, yeah. I am an Orzhov. I guess I got to do I did promise to help with this ogre. I think maybe he notices this going on, Doromir approaching him, but yeah, I think he's going to go after this ogre. That seems more pressing.
Okay, what does that look like?
I think now that he's free, after he kind of gets his bearings here, he's just, going for round 2, I think he's just full charge with this halberd. I think he's to the point where he's mad enough that it's just either stasis, or you can get him as a ghost. Probably, I'm sure they can do that.
Oh man, so you're not trying to not use lethal force here, is what I'm hearing.
At first, for sure, but after that punting.
Yeah. All right. Please roll to hack and slash as you level your halberd and charge into the fray.
All right, let's see how this one goes. Yeah, that one's better. 9.
Okay. Yes, you're going to deal your damage, and the enemy will make an attack against you. What's the damage on your halberd? You kind of have some base damage for your class, and it's possible some weapons give you bonuses. Yeah,
it's just +1.
Okay, so that's D10 damage +1. Roll the D10 for me, please.
So that is a 6 total. Yeah, although fighting an ogre not as important, but it has reach. But I think we both have some reach going on.
I think the ogre is going to be able to reach you.
Yeah, that's fair to me.
where do you like you're hurting him pretty hard with this. It looks like he's on his last legs after taking this blow. Where do you land the halberd?
Yeah, I think he's charging for the legs again. So
Okay, got it.
To try and drag him into this thing if need be.
Yeah, then last legs indeed. You sweep the legs. Like blood spurts. It looks like he's gonna be like if anything limping or crawling away from here. But he hits the ground and like grabs the first thing that comes to hand, which happens to be a goblin, and throws it right at you. Roll D8 damage plus 1.
Yeah, so that's a 4 total for me.
Okay, and you've got 2 armor.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's 2 damage coming from that, I guess.
Makes sense to me.
Delic, probably you are able to take in some of this scene, right? You dealt with with one cop over in the corner. You come back, you see the stasis field is the stasis field went down and is being like trying to be rebuilt, but certainly there is some chaos going on here, especially as the paladin now fights the ogre in round 2. What do you do?
Let's see, and I've had Osric sort of indicate I was there to hear if we get rid of the ogre, they'll let us just do our thing.
Yeah.
I've seen Orlick, I guess, appear up out of the ground to suddenly be there, right? Didn't you come up?
Carissa appeared out.
Carissa, I'm sorry.
No.
Carissa come up. It's Orlick that's been leading the ogre around, disrupting folks. Okay. And I imagine I am chuckling mightily because this is absolutely hilarious, all this mess that's going on here. So it comes to a choice of, well, Osric is probably the one I'm going to go with. He probably made the proper deal. And so Ogre is still crawling away, causing a bit of chaos we need to take care of.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay. Then as I come up, Osric, are we not ready to go? As I motion forward and magic missile into the ogre.
Roll to cast a spell.
Alrighty. Oh, that's a 9. Darn it. So I'll hit it.
Yeah. Is there? Do you want to ask for assistance from someone? Orlick's probably not too far away.
Yeah. Anyone feel like they can assist? I could see Osric or Orlick, either one, doing something. Orlick, you got something?
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to get the ogre's attention so that other people can actually attack it and take it down. So I'm jumping up and down and taunting it and waving my arms around it. And,
excellent.
Come and get me, you big stinky ogre.
What does a magic missile look like when a Rakdos wizard casts it?
With me, it seems as though my arms sort of get, you see the blood open up on the arms as the knife comes out.
Oh. Wow. All right. So let's have Orlick roll to aid. Yes. See if we can push you up to a 10.
11.
Woohoo!
Hey, that's excellent. With that good of an aid roll, you can give him a +1 and not expose yourself to danger this time.
Excellent. So that takes me up to a 10.
All right. And for magic missile, you deal 2d4 damage to one target. Roll 2d4 for me.
All righty. And I guess I'll take the submit. So 4 points of damage.
4 points of damage total. All right. Yeah. The missile, strikes the ogre like square in the chest as he was trying to crawl away, and like a big burning Rakdos brand appears where it hits him, right? So he slumps over. It looks like he's alive, but he's not resisting, and eventually the arresters come towards him and start dragging him away. The rabble that had been watching the ogre all is suddenly busy doing other things, trying to make it look like they were never rooting for this guy at all. And I think Doramir catches your eye, Osric, gives you a nod, and starts giving the orders for his troops to move their slightly laboriously move their stasis field away, so it's no longer blocking that flagstone for you all.
I think I'll have come up and kind of reached up to pat on the back of Osric's shoulder. You were doing very well.
Nice.
I think he just gives him a look and then just a nod, like, "Yeah, I did do well."
I've been neglecting to remind you of XP triggers since and it is a one shot, so they're not as important. But if you feel like, hang on, I definitely rolled 2 misses, take that XP, or I've definitely worked out that bond. That is also something you can cash in. I'm gonna go ahead and say let's take a 5-minute bio break here, and when we come back, we'll have jumped forward a little in time. So the basically everything will have cleared out, and you'll be ready to descend under the city. How's that sound? Great. All right. See you all in 5. All right, just checking in before our last stretch. How's everybody doing? Good. Having a good time. Any requests or wishes for the finale here?
Nope, having fun.
Excellent.
Yeah, blast.
Well, I'm very happy to hear that. Let's see.
Just looking through some of the guild sort of lore. Yeah, interesting place. I'm liking it.
Yeah, fun city. Wouldn't necessarily want to raise a family there, but you know.
No.
Hey, welcome, David. All right, if we're all back, I want to check in. Once the plaza's cleared and you guys are ready to make your descent, Carissa, do you have everyone stand on the sigil and then lower it down with the mechanism that you know how to use now, or how do you approach that?
I think like for a little bit of a theatricality, I have everyone stand on their own sigil and just drop those.
Excellent. Yeah. So they stand on the Golgari, the Rakdos, Orzhov. And do you stand on the Simic sigil?
Yeah.
You cause it, you pull the lever so it comes down, and then you get on it and hit the lever so it keeps like bringing you down to below. So standing on these individual small stone sigils, each is probably not that much wider than what you need to stand on it. You guys are kind of descending through this cavern shaft into the undercity of Ravnica. Let's paint the scene. What do you see on the way down that drives home the kind of deep history of Ravnica, the way that it's a city built on top of itself, and you kind of you'll see these unexpected layers as you descend. Starting with, we'll go the opposite direction we did before. Starting with Orlek, what do you see?
I think we see like a layer of like crushed tombstones and bones. Like there was actually a cemetery in this section, over 100 years ago, and that's sort of 20 foot deep, and yeah, there's just a lot of it. It was quite a big area, and obviously there were communal graves at that point in time.
Totally. Osric, what catches your eye on the way down?
That's a good question. I think what if there's like maybe are we going like we can see like rooms and stuff as we're going down, or
yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can spot on the descent.
So I'm thinking maybe there's like some little alcove or something that we pass through, and maybe some of us, our eyes light up because it looks like a kind of an open treasure chest type thing with all kinds of coins in it. And as we're like lowering down, like, oh, maybe we should stop. We noticed like all the coins are just like gold pieces or something. It's like, oh, we don't use those anymore. That's stupid.
Yeah, they're not. It's not Zips and Xenos. It's like some old coins stamped with outdated sigils from like prior guild leadership that have fallen out of favor. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Those are worthless now.
Yeah, it's like the maybe it's like a family that used to be high up, say in the Orzhov, but these coins are now like been taken out of circulation and are considered null and void when this family fell into dishonor and disrepute. Delic, what do you spot during the elevator ride to the Undercity?
I think as we pass down and through, we see kind of stuck jutting out from the rock walls, the more solid dirt and debris that's the shaft at parts that we're going through. We see sticking out from it the enormous stone face of one of the like great emperors of legend. But
Hmm.
as we're passing through, we could see that it's been cracked, and you could see roots coming through it. And as we pass, Delic sort of look upon my works and shiver ye mighty.
Love it. With apologies to Shelley, we tossed this in here. Finally, Carissa, what is notable to you during the trip down?
I think as we descend, we come to a point where, normally it's just kind of open, like you could step off your platform or whatever. But I think we get to a point where we're essentially like in a glass tube or something.
Oh yeah.
We're going through like an underground lake or river or something. And you can actually see really well because there's all this like bioluminescent plants and stuff, and there's all sorts of weird fish or whatever that obviously the Simic must have created these because they're like in the thing it says like the shark toe crab and like
Totally. Some like
something that's like an elephant, but it's breathing water. It's got giant gills behind those big ears, or
yeah, absolutely. Like things that are clearly because clearly were never born in any normal nest, but have come from the laboratories of Simic generations past. Absolutely.
And they've probably evolved differently over the since they've been left for hundreds of years.
Yeah, I think kind of the mechanism comes to a stop, and you find yourselves down on a new kind of rough earthen surface. Here deep under the street level of Ravnica. Indeed, there's bioluminescent fungus lighting it up, and in fact, I think there's a trail of kind of softly glowing blue bioluminescent fungus leading off in a particular direction. That was the sign you're supposed to look for, according to the intelligence the Orzhov gave you. That's the way to go towards the deep library. Orlick, you notice there seems to be a cluster of rats down here, and when you look at them, they scurry off in a different direction from the way the fungus is pointing. What do you do?
Well, I was going to cast guidance, but I kind of feel like they've done it for me. So I'm like, this way, and I'm sort of crouching while I'm following the rats.
Calling your fellow party members with you.
Yeah.
Osric, what do you do? There's one way that Orlick's leading you, one way that the packet from the Orzhov said to go.
Yeah. Guess this is your purview, but are you sure about that? We had the information told us to follow this path, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold up the skull necklace and yep, this way.
Do rats usually lead you correctly?
Well, I'm 50.
Well, all right. Guess it can't hurt.
Delic and Carissa, do you go with these two?
I think I kind of maybe put a hand on Delic's shoulder, let the other two get ahead of us, and I want to pull out the map and I want to show it to him and kind of look at it, see if I can figure out, is where we are and where we're going even on this map, and if so, see if I can figure it out.
Yeah, that's that. Is it designed kind of orb shaped cityscape?
Yeah.
Totally. Delic, you taking a look at that? I think you'd recognize the is it design immediately. And as a wizard, you're probably able to like trace that it's got these kind of mana pathways, marked out on it.
Oh, you've been holding out on us. Where did you find this?
Oh, that's none of your business, though I did think it could help us in our business later.
Yes. It's interesting. Can I discern anything about it? Well,
are you hoping to closely study a situation?
yeah, I suppose I am.
Roll plus wisdom.
Ugh, I hate doing that.
I mean, if you think spout lore is more appropriate, we can give that a go.
Well, so it is a map of something. We don't know for sure it's this space down here, or do we?
So far, one part of it opened up, revealing kind of some of the city modeled in brass, basically. Possibly you could open up more pieces of this orb and discover more insight.
And you say it traces the mana lines. It traces the. Okay, then yeah, I think I could spout lore. Maybe not so much to actually read it as to help you be able to see what it can do. As I go, you see, and it follows the pathway, the power it flows through. As I reach down to it, and I'm trying to spout lore on how you can open up more of this. I can see in the mana lines there's a way of opening or seeing it.
Yeah. Go for it.
All right, let's see if I get it. Otherwise, I'll lead us in a pit. I got a 10.
Oh, excellent. Something interesting and useful about the subject relevant to your situation. Yeah, you see that the mana lines here correspond in some way to the strictures of the Guild Pact, and so there are just different spots on this device that correspond to the kind of Guild Pact magic tied around each of the guilds. So whoever owns the orb, and as a magical object, the orb has decided on the orb kind of has an owner that it believes it belongs to, and you can tell it's attached itself to Carissa. If whoever owns the orb kind of touches the part that corresponds to their guild, then more of the orb will open up and reveal its secrets.
And I'll kind of give a sly look. It's key to your guild, my dear friend. And I'll kind of point towards your pretended guild.
Yes, the little Simic area on this on this model of the city.
Touching your guild will let it show you more.
I think I kind of hold it and kind of turn it in such a way that I kind of try to fake the look of me touching Simic, but actually touch their hand.
Okay. So I think you'll definitely be able to touch the spot you want, open up more of this map. I'm gonna ask you to maybe defy danger with dexterity to pull off a sleight of hand that won't otherwise I bet Delic will be able to spot what you're doing here. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, and that's an 11.
Oh, Man, oh man. So yeah, you take it in stride, right? You're like, oh yes, Simic, right? And then like mm, just like don't quite touch Simic, while with another hand you're like subtly brushing the little Demir, a spot, and there's a sound as like more of the sphere kind of opens up, and you see basically it's structured so there's some of the city model going up and then some of the city model going down, right? A sort of built out version of the undercity that maybe even has like a little like glowing blue spot that's you are here, right? Sort of telling you where you are in the city right at that moment.
And I think I kind of almost give a little bit of a surprised look as I sort of very, very good. You did, yes. That's exactly what I expected.
I gotta give you Demir esteem for that little maneuver. Nicely done, Carissa. All right, let's check in because I think Osric and Orlick have made their way a little ways away from the two of you while you're messing around with your artifact. Orlick, the rats lead you into kind of a side chamber, and you are pretty used to navigating underground, so I'd say your eyes have quickly adjusted, right? Even to the half light of the bioluminescent fungi around, right? So you're able to look around, and you see what looks like a sort of gallery of statues all around you. Statues of people, many of them kind of with expressions of surprise or horror on their faces, very, very realistically sculpted. And the rats kind of like wind their way deeper into this gallery space, and you hear like sort of a hissing voice, and it like kind of echoes around the walls, hard to pinpoint exactly where it's coming from. And the voice says, "Orlick Nadav, I have seen you. I have seen your faith, but it is misplaced." What do you do?
I'll kind of look at Osric, and without saying anything, I just sort of go as if to say, "Back up." And I'll say, what do you mean? Golgari led me here.
And is he the only one able to hear this?
Oh, interesting. You maybe hear something of a hissing, but I don't think the words are immediately clear to you.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Orlick, you hear, "Yes, Golgari, but no longer the Rat King. The Rat King is old. The Rat King is tired. The new cycle begins, and the nameless goddess of serpents is the patroness of the swarm."
Sweet. Was there a door or anything we came through to get here, or?
Why do you ask?
Because I feel like running out and shutting it behind me.
There was, I think there wasn't a door that you walked through. There was probably kind of a more of an archway. So if you really wanted to, you could try to collapse a bit of this tunnel down there. But it would be fairly permanent. Like more of a lift than slamming a door shut or something like that.
And we were actually paid to get books specifically, weren't we?
Yeah. Books from the hidden library.
Screw it, I don't need a challenge. I'll just grab Osric on the arm and say, "Let's go," and I'm running out. and I'll try and knock something to block the corridor as I go. Bugger this! I'm not a fighter.
All right, so you're trying to grab your vampire friend and skedaddle. Is that am I correct there?
Yep.
Yeah. I think as you're headed back, like kind of like turn towards the little archway, right? The bottleneck here that brought you into the sculpture gallery. You see a sort of shadow dislodged from the wall, and a kind of female figure with like swaying tendrilled hair is standing blocking your way. Osric, what do you do? Orlick's been acting pretty weird.
Yeah, I think he was just while this was going on, maybe like the audio, in the background, where he was just like replying to these things that he couldn't really hear. I think he said, like, "Oh, the Golgari brought me here." And I was like, "Yes, it seems so. From what I've heard, the rats are part of the Golgari, and the Rat Queen." And he's just like chattering on because this actual important hissing conversation is going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, let's get out of here. Well, I suppose. Whatever. And then, is this woman in front of both of us though?
Yeah, you've turned around. You're heading back, and you spot you spot her. Let me see if I can give you an image. But yeah. Oh, here she is. That's nice. So, kind of cobwebby dress, swaying tendrils for hair, and kind of softly burning eyes. And she's standing casually in your way. Osric, what do you do?
Well, these statues we saw are not as impressive anymore. Yeah, and we're what Gorgons are pretty like common knowledge, right?
Yeah, people know about Gorgons. They're often pretty solitary creatures, but there's certainly been recent rumbling about some Gorgon attempts to gain more influence among the Golgari.
Right. Yeah. So I think, first plan is avert my eyes here. Let's see. What would he do? I think just holding his halberd here, can we help you, Madam Gorgon?
You are not my concern, Osric Karlov. But your friend has faith, and his faith must be turned in the right direction. Orlick, will you pledge fealty to the mistress of serpents?
No, and just run.
So, which way are you running? She's standing in the archway. You could run back amongst the sculptures, of course.
Yeah, and then try and lose her so I can get out the door.
I see. So you're turning your back on her and running into the sculpture gallery.
Yes. Yep.
You feel a prickle at your back as you do so. She's clearly started to turn her gaze on you. I'll ask you to defy danger somehow here.
Well, yeah, I was gonna duck and weave amongst the statues, so I guess Dex because
Yeah.
Yep.
Defy with Dex.
Come on. That's a 6.
Yeah. You feel yourself coming up short. You are running, but you're getting slow, and you kind of look down and you see one of your legs turning to stone. You're not statuified fully, but you've got a petrified leg here that you're dragging after you as you like
Oh, great.
pull your way into the statue field.
Not,
Uh,
not.
Osric?
We might have passed the point, but is it possible for me to help him out on this? Maybe distract her a bit.
I see.
If I pass the threshold, that's fine.
Rolling A to interfere. Well, Orlick, do you want to do that tiny retcon to see if Osric can be helpful here, or
No, I've already made it clear I'm going to go. He should just go.
Osric, what do? You've averted your gaze, but you maybe even like hear like the crackle in the air of the Gorgon vision going off here.
Yeah, I'm going to run.
Yeah, I feel Osric is not the running type. I feel he does the he's been holding this halberd. He kind of slams it down and just, still kind of avoiding her eye contact though, but just like, well, I'm sure that you two have a lot to deal with, but he and I have a contract right now, and we are on official Orzhov business. You can figure that out after we've gotten to what we have to do.
Is it possible you're extorting service from someone?
Yeah.
I thought he was doing I am the law.
Yeah, I could see both those working.
Because you've got, I'm flagging it for you because you've got the 2 guild esteem now, so you are able to use your guild custom move.
Yeah, that could be interesting. I might do that just to see how that move works.
Okay. When you extort service from someone or something, living or dead, roll plus intelligence. After detailing what old contract you're invoking.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I also think if you want this for flavor, you can have recognized some Orzhov attire among the statues down here in the sculpture gallery. If that's something that helps you make a kind of contract claim on the Gorgon.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. Just like and he needs to come with me unless you want me to bring up how many other people you're taking away from their duties. It's kind of the leverage I'm using. So not as intelligent as I am charismatic, but let's see how it goes. Still 7. Got it.
Hey, remind me how that works for that move.
So let's see. On a hit, they are magically bound to serve you. But I pick one. So the full part of it is when you extort service from someone or something living or dead, roll intelligence after detailing what old contract you're invoking. So I think technically it's like the contract that Orlick has to do this kind of mission.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
If that makes sense. So he's got to deal with his mission before you can try to convert him.
Yeah.
On a 59, I pick one from 3. And they're all pretty good actually.
Yeah. It's that you'd get to pick 2 on a 10 plus, but on a 79 you only get to pick 1.
Oh yeah, I see. I think the way I spelled it out, it makes most sense. The term of service will last for some time. So the some time being like at least this mission and maybe more.
Oh man, yeah. So what does it look like as like Orzhov law magic kind of takes effect around her?
So I think so their weapons are really ornate, like in that picture, like all of Osric's armor is like gold plated, like ridiculous, ostentatious. So I think his halberd is as well. Like when he slammed it, maybe that's when this this white and black kind of mana kind of kind of came out into the symbol of the Orzhov sort of a guild.
Yeah, it's this kind of eclipsed sun symbol. So that probably kind of like settles on her as she like kind of like squirms and her hair tendrils writhe, and she says, "You have some gall invoking these contracts down here." But it's clear she can't fully defy you. What are you making her do? Just let you guys go, or how are you invoking this?
Yeah, I think so. That's the case. I think let us go to or let specifically him go. I guess both of us, but then maybe as he's hobbling back,
selfless paladin, only concerned about his fellow adventurer.
Exactly. And I think when he's hobbling over, Ozra kind of points at this stone foot that he has, and it's like, and that too. If he could be so kind, as in like make this like depetrify this too. Just raising an eyebrow, like, what about this?
I cannot take back the gift of stone.
That's fine. I'm heading for the door.
And he's like, oh, go ahead.
If you wish, Osric of the Orzhov, you could lift it with the magic you possess.
What do you mean by that?
You are an anointed champion of your petty mercantile gods. You can lay on hands to cure if Orlick desires and does not wish to bear a mark of the favor of the Queen of Serpents.
So I'm going to fix your mess, and how much are you paying me for that?
She sighs, but you've got this contract on her. She walks over and kind of like carefully removes the head of one of these Orzhov statues and like holds it out to you, like this is your payment.
Yeah, he tries to remain poker faced. Just like, all right, fine. Yeah, and I think we try to hurry along then.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys are. Did you take the statue head? Just
yeah, I guess so.
Stuff it in your bag. Fair enough. All right. Maybe later you'll check and see whether it looks like one of your ancestors. But you and Orlick are heading back the way you came.
Yeah, I think so.
There's some kind of sad rats padding along near you, like looking a little dejected, like they're really sorry that that they led you into this. Jumping back, Delic and Carissa, you've unlocked this map, and it shows you where you are in the Undercity, and probably you can even decipher from it the best route forward towards that deep library of your mission.
Carissa, can you read it?
It's very small, but it does seem like, I kind of point to what I believe is the library. This is the place we're trying to find.
Oh, very good.
And I take the path back, and as soon as like I hear a noise or see them, or with a lot of smell comes with it. As soon as the other two come up, I kind of close it quickly and hide it.
I'm hoping we have a few minutes before they get back. I mean, they've had a bit. So
yeah, they had a little side adventure, so you definitely have a couple minutes before they catch up to you.
So as you're tracing, I'll Carissa, if you can draw that line between it, I think I can take us there.
Sorry, say that again.
If you draw the line between us and where it's going, I think I can open a portal and simply take us there. Our friends will be back. They're only getting into trouble.
So you're thinking we finish the job ourselves?
I'm thinking we could wait for them. That is perfectly fine. But there's no need to walk the distance. There's only danger between us and it. I'm saying if you can make the line, I can open the door.
I guess there's no reason I can't give it a try.
All right. You study on it. We'll wait for them. I think we could use Osric's strong arm, and I imagine that Orlick will be capable of helping us quite a bit down here. I wouldn't mind looking over my books for a moment or two.
Yes.
So what I'm pointing to is if you can manage to locate it on there, I'm going to try and ritual magic to just open us a spot in.
Yeah, I mean, I'll do what I can to help out with that. I would assume anything would probably be ritual magic, and then just
Yeah, let's talk about that. So, what place of power are you drawing on? Just the power from this underground realm? Are you particularly tapping into one of the landmarks we've seen here?
Well, we've really not left the actual thing that brought us down here. They wandered off. We sort of stood pretty close to it.
All
so
right.
I'm kind of drawing on the power of the transportation magic of the lift. And I know with ritual magic, it has its costs. I can easily see it having to drain the artifact of the map itself, plus whatever else you put on it. But I was thinking those would be good fuels for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, well, I mean, a couple things here strike me as obvious. You know, you'll need help from Carissa to kind of to use this map here, and you'll have to disenchant the sigil you're standing on, right? Kind of taking its magic to create this portal for yourselves, and yeah, and tapping into these kind of secrets, I'd say, will mean that you and your allies will risk danger from John Vicia, Shepherd of Reason, because this is an angel who cares about collecting knowledge, and if you're using the knowledge of one arcane map to get yourselves to another arcane library, that's enough of a confluence to ping her secret senses, I'd say. So how does that sound?
That sounds perfect.
I like it.
What does your portal look like then? And Carissa, you can describe how you're assisting here with the navigation.
Yeah, so I think the main thing he needed from me was just to know the exact, location, and so, I can kind of, as I study the map and whatnot, I figure out the scale of it, and essentially, I can kind of trace the line and give him an exact, 300 meters that direction, or
Totally, yeah. And then when a Rakdos wizard creates a portal, what does it look like to us?
I think as she was working it over and telling me things, I had brought out my dagger, and I began tracing across my forearm the kind of distance, very thin, but the blood will flow slightly. And waiting, the idea is to wait until our companions make it back so we can I don't think we're just making the jump without them. Carissa, do you agree with that? We figure we need the backup, yeah. So doing it slowly, I've got my spell book out. And so as my blood reaches my hand and perhaps they're returning, the drops of blood will drip down onto my spell book, and the skin on the outside of it will writhe, and there'll be almost this sound. It's hard to tell if it's pain or if it's pleasure, but it's certainly feeling exalted in one way or the other. And from that sound, a light splits fiery around its edges.
All right. So firstly, take a Guild Esteem token.
Oh, thank you.
And yeah, Osric and Orlick, when you return, you see this yawning red and black portal with kind of disturbing kind of moans echoing out from it, and you know, oh, that's clearly Delik's handiwork. Do you all walk through the portal you've created here?
And what's this, Delik?
I didn't want to bother your fun. Did you have a good time?
No. And I'll stomp my foot.
Carissa and I were just trying to find a way to get quickly to our destination. I found that way.
I think I look at my foot and jump through the portal.
Oh, brave! And I'll hop right through as well.
All right, Carissa, Osric, you follow?
Yeah, kind of, go ahead, Osric. I'll be right behind you. Yeah.
He just looks around and just it looks like there's we're not alone down here, so better, quicker, and just goes into this portal.
All right. Yeah. So and Carissa, do you follow?
Yeah.
Yeah, Carissa, you are familiar with the Simic. I think that kind of what you see through this portal is like, as you go through it, you get sort of like a sped up version of like the path you would have gone through, right? It passes by the like rusting hulk of clearly some kind of Izzet invention. It passes by a whole like horde of crawl foragers, these big insect people that live down here, and then like as it like goes right for the door that has that guild pack sigil again, clearly leading to this old deep library. You see curled up all around it the many heads of a hydroid Crassus, a hydra like monster created by the Simic, and you're like, wow, thank goodness we didn't have to fight that. As instead you just emerge inside of the library. Orlick, you were the first one to go through. You look around. It is it has an old library smell to the max, since it has been sitting here unattended deep under the city for so many years. What do you see that draws your interest as something that you think the Rat King would want you to claim from this library?
I think there's some books as part of the binding. They've got like little pictures of bones, so I think it's to do with necromancy or the evolution of necromancy or something like that.
Nice.
And I'll just in the pack straight away.
Immediately. Who came through next? Delik. You look around. What immediately strikes your fancy as something that could be an addition to your onstage routine?
Ooh. As I look around the room, I see that there's some sort of structure like a chair that has all of these different wires and spikes that come from it.
Yep.
I'm not sure what it was used for, but oh my, could I put it to good use now?
Okay. Yeah. Osric, you come through next. I think the first thing you feel after having passed through that portal is that sense, that boon from your quest of knowing the direction towards John Vicia, Shepherd of Reason, the angel. That sense is like suddenly pinging you and like giving you a sense that she is getting closer to you. What does that feel like?
Yeah, I don't think it's a secret to him that this was kind of a punishment quest. Like this is a big deal that he wasn't really made to deal with, for a while, and so maybe it's oh man, what would it be? Because he tries to keep a poker face all the time. Oh, maybe it's just like a few beads of sweat come down.
Oh man, yeah, it does take a lot to make a vampire sweat.
Good point.
No, I buy it. Nice. And then when you when you have that moment to recollect yourself, what do you spot that you recognize as a prize worth claiming for the Orzhov from this deep library?
Maybe there's like a maybe like a bookshelf or like a table or something that just has just a bunch of ledgers, and they all have like one of the guilds insignia on it.
So you're like, records, debts. Yeah. Yes.
These could be like hundreds or thousands of years old. So it's like, perfect.
Carissa, what do you see as you step into the library that might allow you to leverage secrets for the sake of Demir operations?
I think I see a tablet that it looks like it's made out of an oily black stone. Doesn't look like there's any writing or carvings on it at all, except there's a certain symbol that's very hard to see on it that is like a mark of the guild, that it's like, this is, if you know the right spell or whatever, you can see what's actually on it. And I think on my way to kind of look at that tablet, I find some kind of book or something that it looks, it's something of Simic, and I kind of like take that and kind of look like I'm flipping through the pages or something, but really I'm like kind of like using a knife or something to kind of hollow it out to slip this tablet into.
A Demir tablet hidden inside the cover of a Simic book. A perfect metaphor for your own life.
Exactly.
Then I think what we see, and this might be the like cliffhanger we end on, is as you are beginning to recover the books from this library, get them all bundled away for return to the surface of the city. There's a kind of a burst of sort of blue black wavering shadows, all in a roseate pattern, and hovering above the library is John Vicia, Shepherd of Reason, come to confront you as she says, "Fools, you think you can safely handle the secrets of this city. Some things were buried for a reason." And kind of draws her hands in front of her, and this sword made out of knowledge just kind of appears as she readies it. Tell me what the last thing we see each of you doing is as this new challenger approaches. Osric, it is your quest. I'll give it to you first.
um, yeah, I feel his instinct is, and maybe it looks like that at first. Like he kind of holds his halberd, like ready to fight her, but kind of takes a step forward and kind of looks at everybody else and just like, all right, let's get out of here.
Orlick, what do you do? And we're not rolling at this point, so it can be just a descriptive montage thing, right?
I wish I had a polymorph spell. I'd like to burst into a pile of rats and run out the door.
I mean, we're at we're basically at time. We're not making rolls, so why don't we say that you do that, right? And just like one of the rats, of course, is stone and just like lies there as you run away.
Nice.
Carissa, what do you do?
I think I kind of go into that same trance-like state I was in earlier when I was getting the secrets from Orzric,
Yeah.
whatever. I'm totally butchering your name, sorry. But it's almost a reverse of that. Like, instead of trying to steal a thought or memory from her, I'm like giving her my own memory of like, I'm Demir and
I see.
Once she knows, she should let me pass.
Yeah, the mental passcode thing. I think it may be even that she does kind of level the sword of knowledge at you, and then as you kind of like give your like Demir pass, it kind of like passes harmlessly through you. Finally, Delic, what do we see?
I think we see Delic having crept up to that chair, and as he slides into it, the wires and the spikes kind of move into him and around on all the shelves and all the cases. There's a flutter as he goes, I can see it all.
Oh dear.
And
man.
just sort of laughs as all the knowledge starts processing through.
All right. Well, let's say that somehow or other you all eventually make it back to the surface, and as an epilogue, we'll roll this epilogue move, which you can find under custom moves. And you guys have set it yourself up well. You've leaned into your guild stuff. You've gained some guild esteem. So for the epilogue, we'll see how the guilds feel about the success of your mission. Left to right on the character keeper again. So Carissa, roll +3, thanks to your 3 Demir guild esteem.
Okay. So that is a perfect 10.
All right. On a 10+, you receive a promotion or opportunity to advance your agenda within your guild. What do you think that looks like?
I think it's kind of the promotion or what it like. I'm no longer on that, I am now a full-fledged, they know that I am 100%, Demir.
You've even passed the test of the sword of knowledge there, right? So absolutely, yeah. You're not on probation anymore. You are in charge of organizing the Demir strategy for subverting the Simic from within. So good for you, I guess.
Yeah.
Delic, roll +3 because you have 3 Rakdos guild esteem.
I do. Let's see. Come on, baby. That's an 8.
All right. So on an 8, your guild does consider the mission a success, but you choose one of these complications. A rival within the guild steals some of your credit. How will you get even? The guild questions your loyalties due to your interactions on the mission. How will you prove yourself? The guild is so pleased with you, it gives you a new mission. What qualms do you have about this one?
God, those are all good. I think they question my loyalties.
Wow. Okay. What
I
what worries them?
I think I come back and it's kind of like all of this information got stuck in me and it's slowly leaking out. So as
Oh,
I come back, I'm saying all of these things. I'm bringing all of this forgotten stuff, and as I speak it, yeah, I'm losing track of it. And as they're hearing it, they're thinking of all the kind of heretical, awful that this could be, and at the same time, they're fascinated by it. And in the end, it becomes this stage performance as I, in front of the guild, explain out the knowledge that has been lost, shaving away the falsehoods until only the bone of truth across my arms is left for them.
oh my goodness. Wow. Does this complicate the con you're running on Gizmaxis if you're also just spouting hidden lore and truth all the time?
Maybe it also helps, but I probably am not going to be very good at sneaking in myself without causing attention.
Yeah, I hear you. All right. Osric, roll +3. You've got 3 Orzhov Guild Esteem. And, the head of possibly an ancestor rescued from a Gorgon's collection. So, that there's that.
Oh wow, yeah, 12.
Wow. Well, tell me what that means for you to get a promotion or opportunity to advance your agenda within your guild.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe one of these. Maybe he was able to grab one of these ledgers.
Yeah.
Oh, he grabbed the. I said there's one of every guild, but maybe he only had time to grab the
Azorius ledger.
No, the Orzhov in particular guild.
Orzhov in particular. Okay.
So, like, the Orzhov's debts for other Orzhov guild members. So he was like, "Here you go," and it turned out the person who sent us on that quest. What was that ghost's name?
Yeah, it was Pontiff Perova.
Yeah, Pontiff Perova. It turned out, he owed so much debt that he had hidden, but it was shown in this, and because of that, whoever his superior was like, well, because you gave me the the information I need to topple him. It seems like you are doing promotion, isn't it?
Do we see you like dramatically like putting that ring back on when you've reclaimed it from Pontiff Perova?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
Oh, maybe the head was like his, like in life.
What? Whoa!
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, because maybe he was like, I was never down there. What are you talking about?
And then you pull it out of your bag.
Forgeries. It's like, well, who is this?
All right, very good. Orlick, go ahead and roll +3 for 3 Golgari Guild Esteem.
7, so 11.
Wow, very nice. So, what does it look like to receive a promotion or opportunity to advance your agenda within the Golgari?
Maybe the Rat King has been hunting, because he's been doing well, and he's been hunting like the serpents, and she was like hiding, and he's like, hey, I know where she is. Let's go get her, with me not leading. So I can help him take out an old enemy.
Just like a wave of rats, right? Like just surges through the tunnel, and like the statues are smashed, right? And the Gorgon is brought down. I buy it. And do you like get like more bones for your bone necklace as a reward here?
Yeah. But like my foot's still stone. No one's fixed that because they don't care. They're like, oh, your problem.
Yeah, it'll just be a little reminder and a keepsake of this adventure. All right, that's been Rogues of Ravnica. Thanks for playing, everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the recording now. Anyone watching, thanks for joining us, and have good games out there.